Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Dataxis, I would like to welcome you all to the first edition of Nextv Ad Europe. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our speakers and attendees for their ongoing support in making today's event possible. And of course, a big thank you to all our sponsors, namely Freewheel, Zatu, Viaxis Orca, Atem, Broadpeak, TiVo, and BitMoving. Let's get straight into today's session and have a look at the agenda. So we will start, our first panel will be dedicated to dynamics broadcasting ad insertion and performance in FTA broadcasting. And then we'll have a special session hosted by Freewheel at 10:50 until 11:15 on the growth opportunity of CTV and AVOD, followed by addressable TV for pay TV operators. And also after lunch, we will look into the importance of data and analytics usage in TV advertising. After this panel discussion, we will have a very interesting session with Viaxis Orca, where they will talk about the journey of targeted TV advertising. And then we will have a very interesting panel discussion on the potential for AVOD pure players. And before we finish we conclude this exciting day today, we will have addressable TV and at Partner Communications, where we will talk about the ad revolution in Israel. This session will be sponsored by Broadpeak. And finally, at 6:50, we will conclude our first edition of Nextv Ad Europe with the role of smart TVs and other streaming devices. So without further ado, let's meet our first panelist for today's session, Dynamics Broadcasting Ad Insertion and Performance in FTA broadcasting. Welcome to all our speakers, but this panel will be moderated by our very own market analyst, Ophélie Boucaud. Ophélie, all yours.
Hi. Thank you, Shanna. So yeah, we will start this conference day today with a focus on broadcasters, their insights and their strategy when it comes to advanced advertising. So the broadcasters are on the front line for the TV industry when it comes to innovation in advertising. And they are now navigating in a market where we have more and more connected screens, also a growing number of HBBTV equipped devices, and a very large penetration of OTT services, which is growing across European households. So the broadcasters have to set up their roadmap when it comes to advertising innovation in this new and growing environment, which is more and more challenging digitally and technically. So we'll discuss today what's going on the European market. I have with me 6 speakers, which I will introduce. We have first Vincent Grivet, who's the chairman of the HBBTV Association. Then we have 2 speakers from Italian market, Francesco Barbarani, who's the director of radio, digital and cinema for the public broadcaster RAI. Then we also have Silvia Brovi, who's the international marketing and MarTech director of the AdTech and Business Development Department for commercial broadcaster Mediaset with Publitalia. Then we have from Spain, Arturo Larenza, who's the strategy director of Atresmedia. And from Russia, we have Dmitry Bashkutin, who's the head of strategy and advertising products of Gazprom Media, Sales House. And finally, we have with us a speaker from our sponsor for this panel, Atem, so Ahmed Sweden, who's the director of Personalized TV. So hello everyone and welcome for this session. I will start by asking a very large question. Why are broadcasters launching interactive and addressable ad products? and what is the added value of those products for the advertisers on the market. So I will start with Silvia from Italia. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what are the needs you're answering to on the market?
Thank you, Ophélie. Thank you, Dataxis, for the invitation. I'm Silvia Broggi. I'm in charge of marketing technology for Publitalia, the sales house, advertising sales house of the Mediaset Group. And I'm responsible for the addressable offer of our group on the Italian market. My point is that the added values of addressable advertising are several. First of all, for broadcasters, it's definitely a strategic tool to face this new competitive scenario where digital budgets are growing and tech players are moving into the TV business. So it's a tool to generate incremental revenues for broadcaster and advertising sales house, and it's a way to give access to open TV to new clients. It's a powerful tool also for existing clients, thanks to new, innovative, interactive advertising positions that are engaging for the viewers, that can benefit for the laid-back TV viewing experience, advertising formats that are 100% viewable and deliver the premium content like the TV content is, and represent also integration to traditional TV campaigns, because larger brands basically use addressable advertising to add reach, to create and generate incremental reach, or add frequency to their campaign. And it's a very strong tool for a small medium business that can enter the TV scenario, the TV environment with TV campaigns as a standalone tactic for brands that don't have a full national budget for full national TV campaigns, or they want to reach a specific audience niche, because the other benefit of addressable advertising are data. So a new set of data that advertiser can use to enrich their layer of targeting to hit specific viewers with relevant ads at the right moment. So that's the other benefit for viewers, to receive a customized advertising experience.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Arturo, you're on a similar positioning. Can you tell us also a bit about what Atlas Media is doing when it comes to addressable advertising, and what are your clients responding with?
Yeah, I totally agree with Silvia, and I think that she has summarized perfectly with the customized experience. I think for broadcasters, addressable TV or targeted advertising is a big opportunity. Truth is that for the last years, I think every broadcaster aimed to have this opportunity in our portfolio of products. But the truth is that because of a handicap, of a technological handicap, we couldn't. We have seen for the last years in other environments like mobile and digital that another players were able to offer to their advertisers some kind of segmentation and some kind of capabilities that we couldn't. And I think that big opportunity of for broadcasters is to mix the something that is in our DNA, that is rich, we reach the big audiences with the digital capabilities, and especially with segmentation. I think the opportunities will depend on the degree of maturity of every broadcaster or of every market, but I would say that the very first steps are when you are able to optimize the traditional TV plannings with the digital ones, you know, audience extension, you know, frequency capping, things like that. If you have a you know, and if you are in the next degree of mature and you are more mature, maybe you can cross, as I'm sure that Silvia will explain, because they are actually doing, you know, with some kind of demographics and start to offer some kind of segmentation behind, you know, the standard ones. And I think it's a big point in the moment that you can also not about thinking about the better service to your current clients, but also to target into new clients, you know, smaller clients. Traditional TV is focused on big budgets, but I think that you know, in the moment that you can break out all the other streams, then you are able to offer this great product that all of us have for smaller advertisers. So that will be the main point.
Thank you, Arturo. Francesco, I wanted your opinion on that also, because you're working for a public broadcaster, which has been on the industry for a very long time. How can you push traditional TV advertisers towards those new solutions, those new digitalized solutions?
Thank you, Ophélie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dataxis, for the invitation. So I want to start a little bit. I subscribe all the preview speaker, of course, but I want to a little bit summarize another, for me, important point. First thing is the content, the quality of the content. As you say, we are a public service, so for us, the content is the key. At the same level, there's a very important point driven by two different strategy. One is the distribution and then the technology. You know, with the new technology, as a colleague anticipated, we have a new kind of distribution. So we cover several new touch points. You talk about our company started so long ago, and now the challenge for us is to put the right content in the right position for the right audience. With the new content, new technology, of course, we discover a new audience, new positioning, new user experience. So this new audience generate, as discussed before, a complementary audience. This is the key for us, as we have a big daily live audience, contemporary audience. This is a very important key for me, the contemporary audience on television screen, and the motion, the engagement that transfer this screen. And in the same time, for us, it's very, very important, the complementary audience. Just to give you two quick numbers, on connected TV, we have 70% of our total user younger than 55 years old. That means that having planning using television and digital screen, you reach a huge number of Italian audience. Another important thing is that on total digital platform, don't just connected TV, but also mobile, PC, and so on. On a daily basis, on our individual target, we have more than 30% exclusive user that watch television, right content just on digital. Of course, in a daily basis. If you spread on a weekly basis, this number reduces a little bit. So that means that for us, it's not such a challenge bring, of course, this is our business, client from television to digital, attract client from television to digital, but the key and the challenge is to working on a total video audience, you know, and find the right positioning, the right sales proposition for our clients. And as discussed before, it's very important for new clients. What we have seen in the last 2 years is that the number of total television right clients increase on a yearly basis so much, also the digital activity. So our clients want to follow the content, the fiction content, sport events, and the long tail, small, since a few months ago, now it starts to become bigger. Consider that on a weekly basis on our fiction, we have million video views on a weekly basis. So this is quite important. Not moving, but adding total vision, total video strategy for the client.
Thank you, very much, Francesco. I wanted to move on now to Dmitry. Maybe you can tell us also what's going on the Russian TV industry, how are broadcasters integrating new ad products, and what are the challenges on the Russian market?
Hello. I represent Gazprom Media. It's one of the biggest Russian media company, and we operate on TV, radio, and internet market. And we sell advertising at the same time to on TV and on digital area, and it's give us good opportunity to attract advertisers from the both sides at interactive TV products, and we combine all strengths of TV and digital approach at large TV screens. For our clients, interactive TV advertising, for TV advertisers, it's a good opportunity to test digital mechanics and to create maybe links with their audience. And for digital advertisers, interactive TV, it's a good chance to test TV placement with low budget, and it's a good chance to attract new audience to their media campaigns. In Russia, HBBTV and interactive advertising at set-top box is currently on the early stage, but we see that it's really very interesting placement for our clients, and I think it will be growth that we will see huge growth in the next few years.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll have more and more time to discuss what you're doing on HBBTV specifically afterwards. Now moving to Vincent Gribet. So you're the chairman of the HBBTV Association. I would like to know, how is the industry setting up standards for broadcasters and advertisers to meet those needs in addressable and advanced advertising products?
Thank you very much, Ophélie. You probably have been telling everybody that today is my birthday, because what I have been hearing from Silvia and Francesco and Arturo and Dimitri is music to my ears, and that is a very nice birthday present. I'm joking, but I'm very happy to hear that from the broadcaster side. I am hearing that there is a lot of appetite and willingness of the broadcasters to benefit from targeted advertising in free-to-air television. And I'm very happy to hear that, because it's been a very long process for the people on the standardization side, like I am with HBBTV and also at DVB. It's been a very long journey to come to the point where we are now. And we are, I think, 2021 will be the year where we are really ready to develop and have working the new targeted advertising standard. So maybe to briefly summarize this long process, first of all, I think the goal of the process is to come to a point where the advertising platforms and advertisers will be able to address an HBBTV TV screen as if it would be a mobile screen or a PC screen, so that it becomes as addressable, while it will keep its inherent qualities, which are the size of the screen, the particular and the quality of the audience because of the lean back, etc. So that was the goal, but it's been a long journey to come there. In my memory, it started in 2015 in DVB, where I had the pleasure to commission a report on the long-term vision for terrestrial broadcast. And one of the many suggestions in this report was that introducing targeted advertising in free-to-air television would be important. Very quickly, DVB moved to a study mission on targeted advertising, and that was in 2017. And then in June 2018, DVB published some commercial requirements. And I think that was the moment that many people of the industry started to get together and say, hey, look, guys, this is serious. This is not a dream, because in the early years, it looked very much like a dream or even something that would be crazy. I mean, everybody was used to the fact that everybody would see the same thing on the TV set. And suddenly here was the idea that you would customize the advertising on a free-to-air program. And I remember when I did my first demos to advertising agencies, etc., some people thought we were cheating and some people thought it was magic. But the reality that is there is a lot of standardization and technical work behind. And then in 2019, DVB published the DVB-TA Part 1, which is dealing with the interface with the ad decisioning and media preparation systems. And I think it's very important also that in this particular case of targeted advertising, the broadcast world and the standardization bodies have adapted to something that existed before broadcast, which is digital advertising. And we did not pretend that we would reinvent the wheel, but we, on the contrary, we are trying to create the missing link between the existing digital advertising systems, like the VAST protocol and all the IAB protocols, and the world of TV, which are the TV set and the broadcast network. Then in February 2020, HBBTV published its TA specification for the TV receivers. Just a little bit later, DVB published the DVB-TA Part 2, which is dealing with the carriage and the signaling of ad placement opportunities. And again, this is fully consistent with the habits of digital advertising, and namely the VAST protocol. And very luckily, in just a few days, you will learn from HBBTV that now we are integrating the HBBTV targeted advertising tests in the test suite. And that is a key moment, because this is what enables the TV manufacturers to verify that their TV set are fully compliant with this new specification. And then maybe there is one additional final step which I would like to mention in this journey, which probably is going to happen this summer, where HBBTV is going to publish an update of our ADB specification, which is application discovery over broadband. And we're going to publish an update of that specification that will fully enable the targeted advertising to be delivered through ADB. So I'm sorry, that was a long answer to your question, but it probably is the proof that it's been a long journey. And I can tell to the people in the market, the advertisers and the broadcasters who are interested in targeted advertising in FTA, that a lot of work has been going on for many years, and we are now coming to the interesting moment that it can really be on the market in a very reliable manner.
Okay, thank you very much, Vincent. So now I would like to ask our last speaker, Ahmed. As a tech provider, what are the needs expressed by your clients, which are content providers, but also broadcasters, obviously, when it comes to addressable advertising? And I know that you're working with D2C OTT platforms, for example, which is another way of pushing forward advanced advertising besides HBBTV. So please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Ophélie and Dataxis and Shana for organizing the event. So to answer your question, I think it's important to distinguish between big broadcasters and small and medium ones. So the big ones that are, large entities that are well established are probably already experimenting or have already launched advanced advertising products, right? So they are the ones with a big number of channels and high viewership, and they really have the capability and then, let's say, the technical power to put something together. So those big guys, they have, you know, since we already, you know, sort of like distinguish them from the smaller ones, they are basically, sorry, just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So they are the requests that we see coming from them usually are related to optimization. So by optimization, I mean that they are looking for ways to improve their ad insertion and ways to optimize their inventory. So those requests, they come with the flavor of adding more use cases or adding a bit more, let's say, scenarios for ad insertion. Another request that we see from them is really refurbishing the markers or adding more data to their markers. They also sometimes want to improve their scalability. And also they want to add more data to their targeting. Small broadcasters are looking for ways to explore the technology. So not really mature, in my opinion, and they want to have more, you know, understanding or learning of the ad insertion platforms. So that's basically, those are basically the requests that we see from broadcasters for today's ad insertion.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll come back to it later. Now I wanted to talk about on a personal perspective. So what are the products that you have actually on your linear channels? So we've talked at length about HBBTV standards with Vincent. I would like to know now from the broadcasters which are using HBBTV standards for their ad products, what you can offer to your clients and what's already live on your platform. So maybe Sylvia, if you want to start.
Yep.
Thanks.
So we started in 2017 with the first addressable formats on HBBTV. And we launched display formats delivered on editorial content and on top of the TV spot, just to enhance the traditional TV campaign. So interactive overlay with an L-shaped design, which is displayed inside the program, and it's interactive. It includes a call to action, so the viewer can really engage actively with advertising, press the button OK, and it's taken into a TV site that we create for the brand. So it's an hub, it's a dedicated environment for the client that can use any kind of material to to give a visibility to its brand or its service. In 2018, we launched the HBBTV application to offer all our content in on-demand mode, so for all media set library, and we started the delivery and video campaign, advertising video campaign on-demand content, and immediately after we released the dynamic insertion, so we can deliver advertising campaign, video advertising campaign in on-demand content and inserting dynamically the spot within the linear break, which is something very powerful for advertiser, because the user experience of the viewer is not affected at all, because it's very smooth, the insertion, and clients can benefit from the targeting opportunities that addressable advertising offers. So we can deliver geographic campaign in specific region, or we can target video campaign and display campaign with other targeting option, social demo, and interest-based. So again, the audience benefit from addressed advertising that match their needs.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Arturo, can you tell us maybe also what Atlas Media is doing on HBBTV, what kind of products you have and what you can do with it?
Yeah. I think we have like two big bunch of products. One, the standard ones, that is like the L-shaped banner that is, some kind of standardized across Europe. Right now, as I said before, it depends the kind of segmentation that you offer. It depends on the ground and the degree of maturity that you have. And we are in a somehow earlier stage because we started doing the first tests in 2019. We launched the official products in 2020, and it has been a really success for one COVID year. So what we are offering to advertisers with this L-shaped banner is the segmentations regarding if depending on if the viewer has seen or not seen some kind of content, included content as well as ads. So I think that the biggest potential is that you offer the advertisers to retarget their own campaigns. Trying to look for viewers that hasn't seen their ads, or reinforce the message in those viewers that they actually have seen their ads. Obviously, you can offer also some kind of segmentation linked to content, and as my colleagues were saying before, content is one of the key points of broadcasters with content. So it's another great segmentation. And that's on the ordinary side, and the other bunch of products that we have is like cross-device products that we can offer the same segmentation, but not in our network, but in our ad network, in our digital ad network that we have, that we sell also for third-party publishers in the digital landscape. We represent like 100 sites in the digital landscape in Spain. So what we can do is we gather the information from the TV screen. We cross with we cluster in terms of anonymized households, and we are able to do audience extensions on those households, not just on our own environment, but also on third-party properties or on other devices and things like that, which is basically, as Vincent was saying before, is basically mixing the digital world with the traditional TV world. We can offer that to our viewers. Just last but not least, we are working to do the video replacement. I think that's going to be the key product for 2021. Hopefully, we're working on that, and we have done some single spot replacement, but we aim to do on a full break replacement, and that's when, in my particular opinion, that we will say that we are doing a full addressable TV.
Okay, thank you. And Dmitry, I know that Gazprom is also working with HBBTV standards. Can you maybe explain to us what you're doing and what kind of products you have?
Yeah, we usually combine interactive banners with TV video, and our audience get, for example, always get video advertising and sometimes additional interactive banners. Audience use it to vote, to choose some specific offer, to maybe give us some details like phone number. And right now we're testing interactive video insertion, and I think maybe in summer we're ready to present it to our clients.
Okay. Vincent, can you maybe tell us a little bit about what's going on in Europe and what are the other markets which are evolving a lot on the HBBTV standards? Because we've talked about Spain and Italy, but I know that there are other things happening in other places.
Yeah, I think from a kind of helicopter view, the very big market of HBBTV in Europe, where HBBTV has been very powerful and present traditionally, the number one is in Germany, where it is estimated that there are about 15 million compatible active HBBTV TV sets. And I know that the German broadcasters are very active in doing the type of HBBTV targeted advertising that Silvia and Arturo have mentioned. Whether it's known or not, I think another very important market for HBBTV in Europe is the UK. And that may be surprising because we have the habits that, number one, UK is not part of Europe anymore, and that on many aspects, UK are doing different things. And in terms of interactive TV, it's true that a few years ago, UK was set on a different technology than HBBTV. And probably back in 2014, UK made a big move to choose HBBTV. And HBBTV is at the basis of the Freeview Play labeling of TV devices. And that means that UK is a very big market for HBBTV, with probably 12 million active HBBTV devices. To my knowledge, I'm not sure there is a lot of targeted advertising based on HBBTV nowadays, because targeted advertising in the UK is probably very much embodied by Sky with its smart ad technology, and that is a different path, if you will. But I'm pretty sure that at some point, the other broadcasters like ITV and Channel 4, who are free to air, whereas Sky is a paying broadcaster, they are, of course, very interested in having targeted advertising. And most likely, this is going to be based on HBBTV TA. Spain is also a very big market for HBBTV, including because of the Lovers TV coalition, if you will, which is very actively promoting HBBTV services and technology. And one can estimate that there are probably up to 13 million active devices in Spain, which is a lot. And then there is Italy with probably 7-8 million active devices, and maybe Silvia and Francesco can confirm that. And then there are two newcomers which I would like to mention. One unexpected newcomer is Turkey, where we just learned that there are 6 million active HBBTV devices in Turkey. And I am hearing that the broadcasters in Turkey are considering also to introduce targeted advertising with HBBTV. And then there is my home country, France, which a long time ago was one of the countries where HBBTV started, because in the beginning it was mostly France and Germany. And then for some reasons, France has been turning very much away from HBBTV. And recently now there is a very strong revival of HBBTV in France. There have been new services introduced recently, which are quite interesting, where there are three new DTT channels on the DTT platform, which serve only as a kind of launcher for HBBTV portals. And now all the French broadcasters are very much interested in HBBTV again. And one of the reasons, of course, is the targeted advertising. So that is a little bit the state of the market for HBBTV, but I would say, generally speaking, including because of targeted advertising, we see a lot of interest in the HBBTV technology.
Okay, thank you very much. So we've touched base now on what's going on linear broadcast, but with broadcasters, we also have OTT players. So for example, catch-up services, or also like services with originals. I would like to ask Francesco, what's going on High Play, which is an OTT player, so digital advertising, and what can you offer there, and what is your strategy on this service?
Francesco, you're mute, sorry.
Sorry, I checked you really headphones. It doesn't work on the PC. Thanks for the questions. Quite interesting, as we have several strategies. We mentioned before, it's very important to enlarge the number of touch points, expand our content, and reach new audience. As you say before, we are public service, so for us the content is very important, and we have to cover all different kind of content. With this strategy, of course, we cover all different targets, adult, young, kids, and then we talk about briefly on the regional side. An important thing, and another very important point, is the quality of our content and the value that our content transfer to the audience. This is why it's a key point. It's a key point because for the client, it's very important to be linked and close with our content that transfer this kind of value. So when they start to plan on television, as we mentioned before, we reach several mass audience on a prime time and so on. And then we have the long tail on digital. So we have a double strategy on sales proposition. We have a vertical strategy that means following the content, the main content, and consider that the client can stay very, very close to the television content. Of course, that's very important. So our clients want to associate to a specific content. Could be sports event, fiction, reality, and so on. And in the meantime, the client start to use also the horizontal strategy. That means that want to follow the content on different moment of the day, of the week, user experience, and so on. So using this kind of strategy, sales proposition, as we said before, the total video strategy for the client, it's very important because, as mentioned the colleague, the client can benefit both plus television, we have discussed before, and also the digital. The digital, that means full screen player. We have a very simple, brief, short break layout. That means that we have maximum 2 spots on our digital break. That's quite important for the final KPI, as you can imagine. And we can work on targetization, frequency, and so on. So for us, again, just to finalize, the concept is to move close with the content, transfer the value content to the client, and let the client be close to the main aspect of our content with good KPI, that means time budget, and the positive impact of the advertising KPI, with new content as originals and product for younger target too.
Okay, thank you, Francesco. Ahmed, you've been working with direct-to-consumer OTT platforms, operators. Can you tell us how ATEM can facilitate data gathering and targeting capabilities for those D2C players?
So yes, I mean, D2C is a very common trend these days with many broadcasters. Many broadcasters are sort of like getting together and forming alliances to form D2C offerings. And of course, you have the pay TV broadcasters that are already also active in this area, and some free-to-air broadcasters are also going there. So the flavor of data is different for all these different types. The pay TV operators or the broadcasters alliances, they do have some data because they have subscribers, so they know some level of data about them. The free-to-air ones are a little bit more, let's say, lacking the data because the content is free and anybody could watch it without really knowing who they are. And there, a good strategy would be to enforce logins so that the ad insertion system, like us in ATEM, would know what is the targeting data to base the decisions on. So that's really, in a nutshell, we are transparent to the data that we receive from the broadcaster. By that, I mean that we forward whatever we receive to the ad decision services, whether those are direct ADSs or direct decision services for ads or programmatic ones. The issue or the challenge here is that, in my opinion, all this data is really not enough. Because if I give you a quick example, if you're a company selling iPhones or just normal, like any other mobile phones, the segmentation of the audience with simple demographics, like age, gender, location, income levels, does not really work well. Because basically a young person could buy your phone and a senior person could buy your phone. A person in a big city could buy a phone and a person in a small city could buy a phone. So the segmentation does not really work here. What you're interested in is behavioral data about the audience. So you want to know when are users actually watching or interested in switching their phone or getting a new one. For that, we've seen some attempts from broadcasters to collect more data from third parties so that they understand this and they can do better targeting. We've seen some doing also like a healthy cooking policy, cookies policy, and several attempts have been made there. But that's really what's going on in the data market, and of course it's a complex one. There's much more work to be done.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. I would like to go back now on something that Arturo mentioned with cross-services ad campaigns. So you mentioned that you're mixing digital and TV and offering ad products across your digital properties, like across digital properties, also on top of what you have on TV. Can you tell us maybe how you articulate this ad offer? And maybe after that, we can also ask Silvia, because I know that Tubitalia is doing something similar. So please go ahead, tell us what you can do in terms of aggregation of service when it comes to ad products.
Yeah. As I have time, I will spend 1 minute putting some kind of context behind. We can do this thanks that we acquired the company in 2017 that was Smart Clip Latam. That was this video ad network that we had. And as Vincent was saying before, we acquired in 2017, and some years ago, HBBTV was something like some noise that was some promise, no? And we realized that this company had this technology to both not only serve ads in the digital landscape, but also they were working hard on the HBBTV field. So we are lucky because of two facts. Since that very moment, the first fact is that if in 2017 HBBTV was a promise, in 2020, HBBTV is a reality, and we can gather through via HBBTV like 7 million TV devices. We have gathered 7 million opt-ins, so we can do a lot of things with this critical mass. So basically what we do, as we have the same technology, as we share the same technology, we can gather all the information to the TV data, we anonymize, and we cross with households, and as we said, we can do audience extensions on this digital ad network. The way we sell this product is that as we have two different sales forces, we have the Atlas Media sales house, so it's sales house, which is selling the advertising in the TV, and we have the digital network that is selling the advertising on their represented properties. So until now, what they have been doing is like selling the different products. Each sales force they have broke down this product portfolio. And right now we have working together, and we are offering to some kind of advertisers, a joint product, by which you can offer, the ability or the attributes of TV, traditional TV advertising, digital TV advertising, and also pure digital properties. So that's something that we started to do at the end of 2020, and it has been really well accepted by the market so far.
Okay, thank you. Sylvia, can you tell us maybe what's going on the Mediaset digital properties?
Yeah.
On the same topic.
Thank you. Well, as a group, we have several touch points with all our users. We have 7 million smart TV viewers. We have a digital network. We can collect geo-behavioral information. And as we unified data collection in a single platform from all screens, we've been able to create our own family graph, of course, in a GDPR compliant way. And using IP and data and time data, we can connect all the screens belonging to an household. So what we do, we can extend campaign on all platforms and all devices. So addressable format, data and technology allow us to offer advertiser the typical planning option of digital environment. So we can extend the reach or create additional frequency, extending audience on our digital network. So we follow the customer through its journey. And this kind of activity, retargeting activity, there are many ways to apply this planning, linear TV to smart TV, to extend the reach of traditional TV flight. We do it on second screen on our digital network. And we started doing it also from smart TV to smartphone, thanks to a company that we acquired last year. And all this campaign again benefit from data. So all the data we retrieve from our users can be applied to advertising campaign.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. I wanted to go to Dmitry now because you've been working with third-party partners to aggregate more possibilities on your ad products. I know you have a partnership with INSERTION, which is one of the biggest Russian streaming service. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, first of all, I should say that it's a lot of features in the Russian market. For example, it's lack of DVRs, PVRs, and quite low penetration of set-top boxes. And for us, for our market, smart TVs, it's the main opportunity to interact with video content on TV sets. It's quite high penetration of smart TVs, and that's why we decide to combine interactive opportunity of our TV channels. It's HBBTV and IPTV on set-top boxes with our TV channels, and largest Russian smart TV VOD players and their smart TV application, EV. We sell it at the same metrics, and it's cross approach post campaigns. We deliver video advertising and interactive banners as the same mechanics at our TV channels, as I said, with HBBTV, for example, and on applications of EV. And it's really a good decision for our advertisers because it's the biggest audience, and it's the best offer in Russian market to interact with audience on large screen.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, you're combining one of the biggest streaming service and one of the biggest linear ad sales house to have like more granularity. Ahmed, can you tell us maybe what can a tech provider do to help broadcasters which are trying to gather as much as possible information from all across their digital properties, but also from third-party services? How can you combine all this to like really have better granularity?
So there are some technical techniques or technical solutions that could be offered in that space, and we in ATEM, we take this position very strongly, that we want to help broadcasters and operators to increase the revenue with these, let's say, next step solutions in ad insertion. So one of them is really optimizing the use of ad decision services. So that basically means that a broadcaster or an operator could be working with several ad systems at the same time in order to make sure that they get the maximum value for each impression. So that's something that is really becoming more popular. Also picking up data from external systems like billing systems or third-party data warehouses, or from external sources in general, is also something that could facilitate better targeting, which in turn would mean more money. So the interesting part here is that and this is maybe a mistake that I see a lot of broadcasters kind of like falling in, which is that they basically don't think about all these data strategies when they launch the service. So they use platforms that are basically not capable of extending the data reach as much as they would like to, and that really causes problems down the line. So we've taken that position quite strongly, and we really focus on the flexibility to pick up as much data and being transparent also with the data that we pick up to comply with GDPR and TCF, and help broadcasters increase the value of their inventory.
Thank you very much. Francesco, maybe you can tell us also, since you're working both on the traditional TV environment and on a digital environment with your OTT player, what are the challenges in discussing with both TV actors and digital actors, and how are the standards for the industry being shaped for advertising?
Thanks, Ophélie. I think that there is a very interesting scenario in the past, the present, and the future. In the past, unfortunately, we have been impacted on our user experience by the pandemic breakout. That's changed a lot the audience, the digital, smart working, everything. I don't want to bother you now, but we have seen a big and main impact on our numbers in terms of audience, traffic, and video views, of course. Then this is the past, and I hope we will be close to the end. Then the present, next present is linked with two important main sport events during the summer. That means European Championship and Olympic Games. And every time something changed during this kind of important events. I remember the Olympic Games in London and so on. Then there's a third step for Italian market and market in general is the switch off of 2022. So we are approaching two very interesting impact. And then I think that there's something like a matrix, because we mentioned before our originals. So we start to produce a lot of original content for the Z generation, younger generation, to enlarge and expand our audience. And in the meantime, we have seen that also our classic content, television classic content, as a new kind of habit to watch it. So there are two different, again, positioning and metrics for the content, new content, and a new approach to watch maybe new content, but also old content. We see a lot of generation who watch typical classic content in a new way. So for this reason, for us, it's very important. It's a learning by doing process. You know what I mean? It's very important to have the right people to talk, explain the thing. But I think that for the Italian European market, it's very important to set some rules, some governance, some metrics, because now it's something to clarify, you know. Viewer index, rate car, it's a television, it's a digital. So for me, it's very important for our market to talk with the competitor, with all the players, the buyer, the seller, the publisher, and so on, to set a few rules to be everybody online and proceed, because I think that we will see a lot of change and boosting in a very short time on this area.
Okay, thank you very much. I just see that we have a question, a very long question so from Richard White. So I think to sum it up, I guess. Yeah, okay, so maybe Vincent, can you tell us a little bit about the HBBTV TA or DVB-TA standard? Because I think that's what the question refers to, and like what are the better performance technically that you can show now with that for a better seamless experience?
It's probably very difficult to give a brief answer.
I guess so.
To make things maybe a little bit quick. The HBBTV TA specification is focused on the TV receiver, and it aims at making sure that the receiver is capable of doing a seamless, super accurate substitution of the advertisement. And then the DVB TA specification is more focused on the signaling between the TV set and the ad platform. So one is for the device, and the other one is for the communication between the device and the ad platform. And I would invite Richard to attend the webinars, which are organized jointly by DVB and HBBTV, where there will be much more information on the specification, because it's really possible to explain everything in such a small time.
Okay, thank you very much. We only have a few minutes left. I would invite each of the speakers to maybe give a little wrap-up statement about what are the mid-term, long-term views you have on the industry. What is coming up for you specifically as a broadcaster, or like generally speaking on the industry? Sylvia, if you want to start.
I think the future is bright, to say, for television, because TV is the strongest medium ever, and of course digital is growing, but addressable advertising matches the best of the two worlds, like TV and digital. So broadcaster, I think, need to collaborate, cooperate, and prepare clients, agencies, and the market on this new tool, which is a strategic and powerful way to protect television, which is regulated and safe, and the perfect environment for clients, for brands. Yes.
Thank you. Francesco, a little word in a few seconds.
Yeah, a few seconds. It's a very interesting moment. New content, new technology, and technology runs so fast. And it's a challenge for the publisher to produce premium content aligned with the faster and faster growing of new technology. But I think that finding the right balance, we have to talk about total video and not separate the different screens or devices.
Yeah, thank you. Arturo?
Yeah, I think that I agree with my colleagues, but I will add that it's also a very critical moment in which we have to decide if we want addressable to be a transformational revenue stream for broadcasters in a critical moment, or we want to be like a standard new revenue stream, and another one. Yeah, I think that we have a great opportunity, especially in the countries that we can rely on HBBTV to shape the whole ecosystem of addressable TV, when we have to reach agreements with third parties that it will arrive in the moment. So I think it's a really critical moment to think a little bit on the long-term view and where do we want to reach in the next 3 to 5 years.
It will be shaped in the next few years. Yes. Dimitri, do you have a final word also?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think that TV channels should produce a lot of advertising products to compete with internet, with digital players, because it's really good opportunities of TV. And you should sell it better, and you should offer a lot of products. And HBBTV and Interactive TV, it's a good decision for advertising.
Ahmed, just in a few seconds, because we're going to have to give back the...
Yeah, sure. So I think there's a lot of diversification, or like fragmentation in the industry. I think if I was a broadcaster and I'm going to the future with this, I would be sure that I cover all the use cases, and I try to monetize all my eyeballs very efficiently. So I would look at all my use cases and make sure that I have them covered, or I have possibility to cover them if I wanted to, in order to make the best out of my inventory.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Vincent, I'm going to have to cut. So thank you very much for being here, and see you in a few minutes with a panel from Freewheel. Thank you very much for joining, and see you very soon.
Thank you, Ophélie.
Thank you very much.
Have a
Ciao.
good day.
Bye. Bye.